You all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Why? Don't it look all right?
You look like melted ice cream.
There aren't a whole lot of professions that demand you rapidly gain or lose weight to such extremes they give you gout. Actors have it rough sometimes. Not financially, at least not the A-list ones. So today we're appreciating all of their hard work they put into packing on the pounds for a role.
When you're gaining weight, of just absolutely losing all discipline and just gorging like crazy.
Number 1. Dacre Montgomery struggled with his weight as a child, but he always knew what he wanted to be and he worked towards it. And he used the bullying experiences to fuel his character Billy Hargrove in Stranger Things, saying, you know, any bully or person that you've had in your life that has been antagonistic towards you, it was about finding those qualities and representing them. When it came to finding the perfect body shape for the role, Dacre had to shift away from his Power Rangers body. He wasn't aiming for Billy to be perfect. He didn't think his character would need to be super toned because bodybuilding wasn't as big in the 80s.
And showtime.
Number 2. Brendan Fraser has returned to acting and is rejuvenated and ready to try something new. He admitted, if there's no risk, then why bother? In The Whale, Brendan Fraser did gain some weight, but the rest of the transformation came from prosthetics and CGI. He found he needed to move in an entirely different way. It took 10 years for them to cast the project. He said, my hope was that I would become unrecognizable.
I didn't have to affect or rely on through any CGI. We didn't use any of that, really.
He was carrying around 50 to 300 pounds of prosthetics while filming. So much, in fact, that he was actually gaining muscle from it. Number 3. David Harbour has consistently fluctuated in weight over the years for different roles, and it has not been kind on his body. He lost over 75 pounds to play prisoner Hopper in Stranger Things, then immediately needed to pack back on the pounds to play Santa in Violent Night. He admitted, all this up and down is not good for the body, and I'll have to give it up soon. But it is such a fun part of the job to live in a different version of your skin for a while. Number 4. Mark Wahlberg had to gain a ton of weight and fast. The actor was cramming in up to 11,000 calories per shoot day to gain 20 pounds in 3 weeks for his movie Stew. We didn't even know that was possible.
This is a picture of you filming the movie, right? And then 3 weeks later, and I'm not making this up, this is a picture of Mark.
He said it was fun for about an hour. It's such a hard physical thing to do. Losing weight, you just kind of tough it out. You just don't eat and exercise. And this, even when you're full, I would wake up after a meal and have another meal. I was eating every 3 hours. It was not fun. Having only 30 days to film the movie really packed on the pressure. He's only got himself to blame though, as he was the one financially backing the project. Number 5. For Natalie Portman's role in Thor: Love and Thunder, training took about 10 months in total. She had to condition her body for the first 4 months before even beginning to bulk up, just so she wouldn't injure her joints.
It's like all this extra time you're spending, working on your role.
Natalie is a vegan, but she eats very well. Despite this, on a natural diet, she just could not get enough protein in her and had to add in some vegan-based protein powders. Number 6. Tom Hardy gained over 30 pounds to play Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He managed this in just over 3 months. He pointed out that if you study the photographs, you can tell he isn't all muscle. He was bulking up by eating pizza. Truly. He admitted further, they shoot from low to make you look big. So people would see him and say, I always thought you were bigger. But the truth in his words, I was just bald, slightly porky, and with pencil arms. Number 7. Christian Bale is done with the extreme body weight fluctuations. But we question how committed he is to keeping that promise. He even said it himself. I keep saying I'm done with it. I really think I'm done with it, yeah. The fluctuations are really taking their toll. He's gone from eating as little as an apple and a can of tuna a day to scarfing down one pie after the other. His most recent weight gain was for Vice. He gained 40 pounds, and he had a lot of regrets about it.
I need to stop it. It's not healthy for your body.
Apparently, prosthetics have come a long way in that department, and he could have saved his body the struggle. Number 8. The story of Ryan Gosling gaining 60 pounds for a role is rather fascinating and frustrating. Because he gained all that weight chugging back melted ice cream day in and day out, and then was replaced by Mark Wahlberg. Gosling has stated he was replaced in The Lovely Bones due to gaining too much weight. But the story is more complicated than that. It came down to a communication error between him and the creative team in the months leading up to filming. But there's been other stories surface about him not being the right age for the character, and also just the good old creative differences story. But what did the writer have to say about it? They insisted with the right effects work, they could make Gosling work. And Gosling insisted it wouldn't work. And no, the effects just weren't working, and Gosling got the boot. Or walked out. Who knows? Number 9. Zac Efron has struggled with depression due to his body. Baywatch was a challenge for Zac. His trainer, Patrick Murphy, said the physical training was an ever-changing approach. But he also had to do lifeguard training, hiking, biking, obstacle course training, and more. Shifting the training consistently ensured Efron never once plateaued. The trainer found Efron to be one of the most dedicated, hardest working people he's ever trained. Sadly, Zac was better at dealing with the physical than the mental challenge, admitting, "That Baywatch look, I don't know if that's really attainable. There's just too little water in the skin. Like, it's fake. It looks CGI'd." Number 10. Chris Hemsworth was cast as the God of Thunder for a reason, but the story of his stunt double is far more interesting. To keep up to Chris's peak physical form, Bobby Holland Hanton must eat the equivalent of 35 times a day. Hanton said, "I also have to train twice a day. Chris is naturally a monster, and all he has to do is look at weights, and he grows." Chris and Bobby have been pretty attached at the biceps these days, doing many movies together, beginning back in the days of Snow White and the Huntsman in 2012. Hanson has also been the double for Chris Evans' Captain America. Number 11. Pattinson has criticized forced body transformations in the past, but his tone changed quick when he was cast as the Bat. Beefing up for the Batman movie, Robert Pattinson found that he had to get over that 6-week aggressive training mode before he really started to enjoy working out at all. He said, "It's all about pushing boundaries and building up to a point where you know you can do justice to the physicality required. Taking on a full physical transformation as well feels even more exciting." On top of your standard workout routine, he did a ton of boxing and even some military-type workouts on the beach. Number 12. Jared Leto is probably one of the most intense actors we can think of. You've probably heard about how much work he put into Morbius, taking an extreme amount of interest in the blood disease his character has, having to both lose weight to look sickly and then regain that weight for after his transformation.
Physically, how did you go from the before to the after?
Macaroni and cheese.
The director said those transformations, sometimes it looked like they would tear him apart. True story, he got gout and his cholesterol skyrocketed while preparing for Chapter 27. Gaining or losing weight rapidly, or unhealthily, can come with serious consequences. That's the takeaway here. Be safe with your diets, alright? Lots of veggies, get your protein, hit your calorie intake. We've got to say, we didn't expect these transformations to come with such intense feelings about it. What story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments.